It's June 1919. World War One is over.
Round and round the circles we go, family. Round and round the circles. It's time to actually pay attention. It's time to realize. I'm going to ask you the question again. Are you sure you want to stay here? This is why they hide history from you. This is why they erase us from the history books. So you don't notice you're going round and round the circles. Times change. People do not. The people at the top, the people at the bottom, they do not change. Always during times of war, poverty. They come hand in hand, war and poverty. And we go and we fight wars with them. Right alongside them. We help, the mother country. With our naive selves. Our grandfathers and forefathers, they were tricked. They thought they were part of the family. They used us for labour and then for war. And then they threw it back in your face. What did you get for it? What did you get for it? History repeats itself over and over and over again. And we never learn. We never learn. You think that you could stay here, you can get along, and let's just get into this.
Huge social unrest. The working class are angry. Ernest Mark was a seafarer. It's June 1919. World War One is over. There's huge social unrest. The working class are angry. Ernest Mark was a seafarer from Sierra Leone in West Africa. While he was living in Liverpool, he joined the army to defend the motherland in her hour of need.
Because after all is said and done, there was Lord Kitchener pointing his finger at everybody. Your king and country want you. And we considered ourselves, well, that the country is our country and the king is our king. So we marched along with them. The next thing we know, we were in the recruiting office.
Black and Asian people played an absolutely crucial role during World War One, as the British call for patriotic support was heard throughout the empire. Many men and women answered that call, leaving their homelands to contribute as soldiers, sailors, labourers and nurses. For example, around 1.5 million Indian soldiers and over 16,000 men from the Caribbean fought or served. In Liverpool, men who were born here and those who resided here enlisted in the armed forces.
During the war, there were a lot of jobs. Anybody can get a job at the munition factories. The color didn't mind. Black, white, yellow, green hair, everybody can work. After the job was over, and they were all demoralized, the white soldiers seemed to forget that the black man was also in the Navy and the Army with them. And there were a lot of jobs.
Or served. In Liverpool, men who were born here and those who resided here enlisted in the armed forces.
During the war.
You see, and war is on the horizon, people. People aren't getting jobs. People are losing jobs. Jobs going to machines, jobs going to AI. And war is on the horizon. Can you put two and two together yet? Can you put two and two together yet? Can you see it? Same thing again and again and again. Again and again and again. You see, before or after, slightly moderated, slightly changed. You see, they learn century after century, decade after decade. Generation after generation, they modify and they adapt their lies and their reasons and how to manufacture your consent and how to blind you to the truth and see what's really going on. And meanwhile, they just get richer and richer. They make their business deals. They pile their investment and shares in these companies so they can just get rich. As we all know, America got rich off of the Second World War. They sold oil and manufactured not all of them, but a lot of the weaponry. And people got rich. People got stinking rich, right? This is the thing we don't learn, we don't remember. Man, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Pick up a book, watch a documentary, and they just have us fighting each other and doing the same thing round and round again, and they get your working class to go and fight for them. And they just get stinking rich. They're all in it together. Some of them are even related. Meanwhile, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of our fathers and grandfathers and brothers and uncles die.
There were a lot of jobs. Anybody can get a job at the munition factories. The color didn't mind. Black, white, yellow, green hair, everybody can work. After the job was over, and they were all demoralized, the white soldiers seemed to forget that the black man was also in the Navy and the Army with them. And they couldn't get the jobs. And they demanded that these black people would leave the factory so they can get in. They were Englishmen. These black people were savages from Africa. So the race riot started. The gang attacked, and they got really mad. Some of them took off their clogs, because many used to wear clogs in those days. Took off their clogs and leave him alone, leave him, he's done nothing to you. Yeah. Because they got me. See, and all I could do was fixing my hand all over me. I couldn't fight, punching anything, punching the air, punching anything. Finally, I ran and got away from them.
Now, I'm not showing you this to muster up armies and fight back. I'm showing you this to show you it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. And they see us with their daughters, with their aunties, with their sisters, with their mothers. You see how they're a force now, and they're emboldened, they're empowered, they're galvanized. It's only a matter of time. Same thing happened in the 1500s in Britain. They didn't like how the white women were going with black men and partying with them and doing these unusual, strange, exotic dances. This is why the Most High tells you, come out of her. Be ye separate. That brother shouldn't even have been there. He should have took his black skin home. But no, he wants to stand around and watch. He wants to watch the spectacle. He should have been at home keeping Sabbath. Do you see it yet? Are you paying attention?
Eyes, the white soldiers, they seemed to forget that the black man was also in the Navy and the Army with them. And they couldn't get the jobs. And they demanded that these black people would leave the factory so they can get him. Englishmen. These black people were savages from Africa. So the race riot started. The gang attacked. And they got really mad. Some of them took off their clogs, because many used to wear clogs in those days. Took off their clogs and leave him alone, leave him, he's done nothing to you. Because they got me. See, and all I could do was fixing my hand all over me. I couldn't fight, punching anything, punching the air, punching anything. Finally, I ran. So the race riot started. The gang attacked, and they got really mad. Some of them took off their clogs, because many used to wear clogs in those days. Took off their clogs and leave him alone, leave him, he's done nothing to you. Because they got me. See, and all I could do was fixing my hand all over me. I couldn't fight, punching anything, punching the air, punching anything. Finally, I ran and got away from them.
Charles Wotton was a Bermudan seafarer, 24 years old. His boarding house was raided by police. He fled and was chased by an angry white mob into the river here and was then pelted with stones. The homes of black men and their families were looted and burnt. Imagine the racial abuse.
Did you hear that? The homes of these black men and their families were looted and burnt. Now wait for it. Wait for it.
The racial abuse. Imagine the hurt felt by these families. 700 of whose were looted and burnt. Imagine the racial abuse. Imagine the hurt felt by these families. 700 of whom were marched to local police stations and fire stations and housed there for their own safety.
A friend and I, a West Indian from St. Lucia, we were going to see a friend in Brownlow Hill, Liverpool, this was. These gangs spotted us. Before we knew what was happening, they were chasing us. So we ran like hare. A woman opened the door. I mean, they were all white women, there were no black women in those days. So my friend and I ran around the corner into the hallway and we found.
Did you get that? So the homes of these black men and their families were looted and burnt. And did you hear what he just said? There were no black women at that time. So the men were brought over to work and then put to war. Now they've settled down in peacetime, had families, found themselves for some white women, had children, and they came for them. They did not like that. They didn't like it. What's happening now these days? What is happening today? What do you see on your TV screens? They know how to inflame and enrage their people. And you're seeing so many examples of it. And it's coming to boiling point. To distract attention from themselves, the elites, the ruling class, the aristocracy, these thieving, corrupt, you know what, once they get found out, they use the race as a weapon. Meanwhile, they can do their dodgy deals and steal government money and go to war and raise the prices. And what they got you focusing on? What are you focusing on? What are you fighting over?
And the door opened. The gang spotted us. Before we knew what was happening, they were chasing us. So we ran like hell. A woman opened the door. I mean, they were all white women, there were no black women in those days. So my friend and I ran around the corner into the hallway, and we found the door open. I mean, the woman shut the door, and we went upstairs. He made us a cup of tea while she looked through the window to see if everything is all right. And it wasn't long after when she said, "Okay, you can go now." Now, she saved our lives. He made us a cup of tea while she looked through the window to see if everything is all right. And it wasn't long after when she said, "Okay, you can go now." Now, she saved our lives. People spotted us. Before we knew what was happening, they were chasing us. So we ran like hell. A woman opened the door. I mean, they were all white women, there were no black women in those days. So my friend and I ran around the corner into the hallway, and we found the door open. I mean, the woman shut the door, and we went upstairs. He made us a cup of tea while she looked through the window to see if everything is all right. And it wasn't long after when she said, "Okay, you can go now." Now, she saved our lives.
Wake up. This is just the beginning. This is what us Israelite brothers and sisters, we've been trying to tell you. Read the book. Read history. Your history. Remember it. And ask yourself, do you really want to stay here? Because we are going home. So start reviewing the situation. You think that you can make it here, my friend? If you think you'd like to stay here, and then it becomes a crime to pray here, I think you'd better think it out again. Wake up and be ye separate. It's coming. This is what the Most High does. He'll put you in a situation where you won't have a choice. He'll put you in a situation where you can't deny it. You won't be able to deny the truth. Put you in a situation where you will be crying out for God. Some people can hide and blend in. Others can't. Think about that. Think about that. The empire is falling. And that's what the Most High does. He raises up another empire, another nation, to come and destroy another. The whole world is seeing the hypocrisy. The crimes are mounted to the heavens. The whole world can see the hypocrisy. They say stop the boats instead of stop the bombs. They say save the children, but yet they're fighting with the people and arguing against the people and hating the people who are trying to stop the war in Palestine, where children are dying in their hundreds, their thousands, their tens of thousands. So everyone else's children can die, that's fine. But when a few of theirs die, commiserations and everything, condolences. This has nothing to do with recent tragedies. I'm talking about the reaction, the disproportionate reaction, and who the anger is directed at. So you've got people protesting against the war in Palestine, and then people are angry with them, fighting them against them. But yet they want to say, save our children. You see the hypocrisy. That's why the world is realizing these people have to be stopped. They have to be subdued. Because nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. And as you can see, there are now kingdoms, empires, nations who are stronger, more mighty, and more powerful. The time has come. The clock's ticking. Where are you going to choose? It's time you need to realize, because you're not going to drag all of us in this with us. When you chose not to be set apart, you chose not to be separate. When you're getting beaten up in the streets because of your partner, like the elder said, they came for him. Like the lady said, these black men and their families, their houses were looted and burned. They had to run to police stations and fire stations for shelter, for safety. But then also in the beginning of the video is the police who raided the man's house, and so the guy had to go out onto the streets, into the arms of the mob. This is why they hide history from you, so you go round and round in circles. Please wake up. Because at the end of the day, it's only going to be your own fault. And yet in an ideal world, you can say love is love and it doesn't matter. Love sees no colour and blah, blah, blah. But as seen before slavery, as seen in the 60s, 70s and 80s, when these people are threatened, they turn on you, no matter what you've done for them, no matter if you fought side by side with them, no matter if your mother nursed them back to health in the hospital, no matter if your sister raised their kids as a nanny. It all gets thrown back in your face when times get hard for them. And then you get all the GB News and that pretending they didn't wind these people up. Remember all the stuff they said when we were rioting. Oh, why do they have to smash up the communities? Why do they have to loot the shops and smash up businesses? You know? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. But the truth comes out eventually. There are people who want to fight the real fight. But this is what happens. The secret organizations, they get involved. The agent provocateurs, they make it about race. And then you got the criminals and the opportunists and the thugs, the troublemakers, who just drown out the real reason to fight. And then you realize this is ridiculous. This is not what we're fighting for. This is not who we should be fighting. What are we doing here? Do you see how these people operate? This is why they keep people racist, and they keep people racist by not telling the truth, by not showing true history, and not showing how much other nations have contributed to this world, other races, how we fought alongside them, how much we've done, how much we trust them, how much we had faith in them, how much we believed in them. And you were just being used. You're a product. You're a resource. When they don't need you anymore, they toss you aside and blame you for everything. When they need you, they sing the love songs and pretend everything's great and we all bleed the same and love is love. Round and round the circles. When will we learn? When will we learn?